Morning, everyone. So can everybody see my screen? What do you see on the screen now?
Notepad.
Notepads.
Right? Okay, great. That's the who's the one who just joined? Rajini. Rajini. Hey Rajini, good morning. Rajini, good morning. Do you hear us? Hello. Rajini, can you able to hear us? What is going on? Not responding. Where is she? Removed from the meeting. We'll remove her. If I find anybody not responding, we'll remove from the meeting. So let's let her join back. Yesterday I got a problem with my mic. Yesterday I'm able to solve it. I'm able to. Okay. Guys, please do not allow anyone unless and until I do it. Okay. So please do not allow anyone. All right. Okay. So guys, we have completed software development life cycle in our last session or last two sessions. Correct. Now we have understood that every project which comes within the organization will will go through certain phases. Correct. Will go to will pass through certain phases, right, from the requirement phase to the deployment phase. Correct. Hope everyone is clear what happens in the software development life cycle. Correct. Is everyone clear with the software development life cycle? Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yes,
Yes.
Vinod.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
clear.
Vinod.
Great. Hey Rajni, good morning. Rajni, do you hear us? Rajni, do you hear us? Okay, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Now, right. So now we understood that once the project is tested, we apply a lot of different types of testing mechanism, right? We apply a lot of testing methodologies. We'll do different levels of testing. Correct. Then once the QA team signs off, right? We understand that whenever all the defects are being fixed, right? QA team will be releasing the project or releasing the application or releasing the module. Whatever you are testing, you will be sending an email saying that this application is defect free. Now it can be move on to the further phases. Okay. Now please understand, right? So now you see the word environments, correct? Now this environment is something where it matters a lot, right? For different team members, there will be different environments. Example, the developers will do the coding. Developers will develop the application, right? They start doing the they start doing the development, correct? So where they will be doing the development, right? So the companies will have different environments. So what they do, they provide a development, correct, environment, correct, where the developers, all the developers, they'll do. It is like, right? It is something which is a system, correct? Which is a system where they only do the development in that particular area. So they will not perform any development, right, beyond this environment. So all the developers, what they do, the developer lead will provide the developer lead will be providing the environment. In that environment only, developers will do the development. As a tester, you should not bother what is development going on, right? What kind of environment? What is the configuration? Right? These are all different. You're not bothered, right? As a tester, you should know that the developers will do the development in the development environment only. Correct? Now, like vice versa, QA team will have their QA environment, right? Example, right? So the testing team can perform the testing in their configuration system. Now there are different configurations. Now example, let's say that we call that the project team, right? So now let's say, so we have a development team, a team of 3 people, and always QA team will be lesser than the number of development team. So it might be 1 or max 2. Correct. Now, so what they do is while providing the laptop or a system, please understand the developer's laptop will be high-end configuration. Correct. Now, when I say high-end configuration, the RAM speed will be very high. So they will be using a different operating system, right? They might be using a different, very huge database where they need to store a lot of different softwares and licenses. Correct. So that's where, because they are the one who develop the application. Right. They are the one who develop the application. Right. They are the one who develop the application. Correct. So they need system configuration with high end. Right. So when you go to a shop to purchase a laptop, right? If you say I need a laptop, correct? The salesman will ask you, sir, what configuration do you need? Right. So you should know what kind of operating system you are expecting. What is the RAM speed that you're expecting? What is the database size you're expecting? Correct. So what kind of the hard disk capacity, or are you going to use for the gaming purpose? Are you going to use for the software development? Based on your need, the salesman will provide you a laptop. The same way in the organization, whenever a team is joined newly, any project is started newly, right? So the laptops and systems are distributed. Right? Example, if you're working from home, or if you're working on a hybrid mode where you will be visiting office only 2 days, then the company will provide you the laptop. Where you have to collect the laptop from the infrastructure team. So your project manager will raise a request for you. Now the request is raised based on your roles. Now, if you are a BA, and you don't need very high-end configuration, the BA person needs a Excel sheet and a decent performance laptop. It doesn't need any software as such. When it comes to developer, they need very high-end configuration laptop because they will be the people who will be developing the application. Based on the roles, right? Based on the roles, the configuration of laptops will be issued. Right? Now we understand, right? Now we understand based on the role, we receive laptops. Testing team will receive not very high-end or high-end configuration. Correct? Now they are not the one. Testing team is not the one who's going to test the no develop the application. They're going to test the application. That is also the GUI part. Will not be testing any kind of coding, or will not be running any kind of a code in your local machine. So you'll not require any high-end configuration. So 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 there will be a huge difference between your configuration and your developer's configuration. Okay, hope that is very clear. And right now, when it comes to web application testings, or web developers, what they do is that they'll have a different environments where you should perform you should perform your testing in that environment only. QA team, they will be well defined with your leads, with your PMs, with the infrastructure teams. You'll come to know that you have to connect to this particular environment to do the testing. Once you connect to that server, then only you'll be able to run that application. Development team will connect to a particular server, particular VM machine, or particular a system who's dedicated for them to do the development. Correct. So what we're trying to understand here, so different teams will have a different environment. Development team will not do the development in the QA environment. QA team will not go and do the testing in the dev environment. Very, very important. Very, very important. So you should understand in the email they will be mentioned, right? So you have to launch this with the URL slash QA. Example, now sometimes they will be mentioning like this 165.4.8 slash QA, right? Or it will be slash dev. So like this, you'll find a difference between two different environments. So as a QA, you have to work on this. As a developer, he'll be checking the application on this. So whenever any application is released, you should be testing your application in the QA environment. Correct? So now you have to understand a couple of things here. QA environment is environment where it is a replica, it is a subset, it is a copy of the original production system. Correct? So there might be few special cases where the configuration should be XYZ. There will be RAM speed will be very less, or they're looking at some specific Windows operating system. So they will arrange in the customer specific environment. They'll arrange the same environment, the QA environment, because ultimately our application, whatever is being developed, should be working fine in the customer environment. Correct. To make sure that is working fine with the customer environment, same environment is given to the QA team, right? So that the testing happens, whatever the configuration is there with the customer, the same configuration will be given to the QA team, so that tomorrow there will not be any defects with respect to the configuration, right? Now we understand that there are, for now, we understand that there are how many environments we understand now? One is dev environment, other one is QA environment. Now, now different companies will have different stages, different environments again. Right? So, few company example, if you're working for a little complex project or which is very confidential in nature, so it might be banking, it might be e-commerce, it might be financial related domains. What they do, the client says that once your QA, once your QA signs off, what you need to do, they'll have an environment called staging. Staging is again, it is it is a subset of your production environment. It is almost similar like the production, but staging is also a testing environment, but it is a replica of the production environment. Few companies, or sorry, few clients will have staging, or you can say uh, different. Say, for example, they'll put their the state names, right? They'll put like Boston environment, US state name. Sometimes they put like New York environment, right? Depends on the client's the way of naming the environments. It is something like we make sure that the application is passing through all these stages and reaching out to the prod. So before prod, there will be pre-prod environment. Then we have prod environment. Correct. Now, when the application passes through all these stages before reaching out to the prod environment, it means all the defects, all the defects, right? All the defects will be isolated, removed from the application so that it can be deployed successfully in the prod environment. right? So it means if they deploy directly from the staging to prod environment, there might be some configurational issues. There might be some issues which will miss out uh, with respect to the configurational or with respect to the customer environment. We might have missed those testing. We make sure that all these areas, right? All these areas, the application is deployed and see how it is performing, how the application is performing when it is deployed in staging. So this all will be the copies of prod environment. Whatever is the production environment configuration, everything will be similar here. Just just because we will make sure that we don't encounter any disasters, we don't encounter any error pages, we don't encounter any kind of a bottlenecks or showstoppers or defects once it is deployed in the prod environment. And please always remember, as a tester or the developer or for a PM perspective, please please understand always preventive measures are more important than corrective. So what I mean by saying this preventive, right? Example, a bug which is identified within these areas is easy to fix, right? It will not impact the customer, right? But when the bug is identified in the production stage, it will make more noise. It will be an escalation on the management. It will be escalation on the project team. It will impact the customer. It will impact very, very bad. It might be a financial loss. It might be their reputation would be at stake, right? So customer will react if there is any bug which is identified once the application is deployed in production. If they identify any bug, customer will not keep quiet. So there will be certain terms and conditions mentioned in the SOW. Example, if any bug identified in the prod stage, there will be some kind of a fine, 5% of the invoicing billing, 2% of the invoice billings, right? Depends on whatever agreement is made in the SOW, right? So as a tester, you should follow the preventive mechanism. You should prevent the application, right? You should prevent the application by not throwing out any errors. You should find out those defects. You should find out those defects in the testing only, right? Then making a corrective. Preventive is lesser cost. It will not impact the customer. It will not impact the company's reputation. But when you apply corrective policy, it means something is slipped out of this environments and the bug creeped into the production environment will have stronger impact on the project, right? Right. So whenever bugs are identified at the production environment stage, the testing team will be answerable why those bugs are not being identified while the project was tested. Okay, so we have to make sure that you are testing the application thoroughly. All right. So now at this stage, now at this junction, we understand that there are different environments in the organization and based on the project capacity or from the customer. The customer wants to spend more money, definitely. These are all the configuration. They have to purchase lot many systems, right? That's where they can protect set up the staging environment. These both are same, right? These both are same, but customer want to make sure that the application is thoroughly tested in all the areas, right? So now you understand as a tester, there are different environments for the different teams, and dev team should only test the application within the development environment, and QA team will be testing the application in the QA environment. Those environment details will be provided by your leads. You should ask once you join the organization. Once you show that as an experience 3+, once you join the organization, you should first ask what is the QA environment? How should I connect with the QA environment? Right? So these are all shows that you are an experienced guy and you're not sitting idle. Someone say that, the application is released for the testing and you're not doing anything, right? Your lead will ask, have you started the testing? Then what should be your answer? Correct? You should tell the status of the testing. So whenever the application is released, you should ask, hey, lead, so which environment should I be testing? Should I have a QA environment details, please? Is that the way you start questioning your leads? That's where I keep telling from the beginning, from the demo onwards. As a tester, you should ask questions. Asking questions is your first quality, right? The more you ask questions, the more you get the clarity. If someone is asking, hey, can you please travel to high tech city from Secunderabad? Now, the first question you should ask, how should I travel? Second question you should ask, what is the budget? Third question you should ask, how much time should I reach the high tech city? Right? Fourth question you should ask, should I be traveling in a particular day? Fifth question, like you have to ask, there is a terminology called like five whys. Hope you heard this. So for every question, right, everything, every doubt that you have to ask yourself five whys. You means five times you should ask question to get into more detail about that particular problem. Why? That will give you the answer, like or some kind of a solution how to proceed with it. Okay. So as it is said, again, you have to ask questions. Don't keep quiet. Keeping quiet is not a good idea. It will be an impact on you. Any meetings, you have to make sound. You have to keep that. That's your habit. Actually, that you should get habit of yourself. Any meeting you attend, irrespective of anything, you should jump in and ask questions, discuss, get clarity, keep on asking questions. That's where you will be in the eyes of the customer. You'll be eyes of the PM, right? So your PM or your lead should get and confident. Yes, this tester will lead the project from the testing perspective. Okay. Hope this is clear. Any doubts in the environment section, please? Any
No,
doubts in the environment section?
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
Yes.
No, Vinod.
Okay.
No, sir.
Subramaniam, are you
No,
clear?
Vinod. No, Vinod. It's clear.
No.
Okay. Now let's first proceed further. Now we'll try to understand a new terminology called hmm, methodologies. Testing methodologies. Okay. No. Now in the testing phase, now we know we need to perform testing. Correct. That's the generic word. So that is the very very high to say a high terminology word testing, right, that we apply on the project, correct? But what kind of mechanism? What are the different kinds of testings? So what stage we are going to apply what kind of testing is more important. Okay. Now let me open the 1 minute. Let me open this one. Okay. And once you see this screen now, what do you see on the screen? Guys, please answer.
United diagram screen. You are
Class.
Okay.
drawing one square, blue color square on that.
Class diagram.
Okay. Great. Right. I did not draw anything. I just want to know whether uh, you see the screen or not. Okay. Now, Okay, please understand here. This is very simple to understand. Okay. Now we have an application, right? Imagine so I have a Gmail application. Correct. The size. Right. Now to to run this application, right? So to run this application, there might be a huge there might be a huge code, right? That might have written. Correct? You agree? Example, this is the I'm just typing. I'm just typing the assume that this is the code in the backend, then code is running, correct? The code is running in the backend, and the front end you are able to access the Gmail application, correct? Now, in in the uh, in the project development perspective, right? So in terms of the developer's language, right, or in terms of the IT language, what we say that this is the this is the structure part, correct? This is the structural part, and this is the functional part, right? So, example, if you go to any ATM, right, you withdraw money, you put your first thing you check your ATM is working, and it says insert the card. You put the card, you press required details. You want to check the balance or you want to withdraw money, you will come back, correct? So, do you really bother what kind of technology was used to develop that ATM application? No, right? We don't bother of what technology has been used. Correct? Example, if you go to IRCTC website, you go and you put your travel date, you put your from and to location, and you check the availability of seats, you book the ticket or don't book the ticket, and you close the application. Correct? Now, as a user, you are not bothered of what kind of technology was used in the background to develop the IRCTC application. Correct? So it means in the similar fashion, right? Here, example, I'm accessing a Gmail application in the front end. I'll open the email. I'll check the emails for a new emails. If I don't get any new emails, I'll close the application. My intention is to check whether are there any new emails, or if I want to compose an email, if I want to send an email to any of the customer or to my friend, I'll just simply open and compose the email and send it. Correct? I'll not bother how the Gmail application is developed in the background. What kind of the programming techniques a developer has used. I don't bother where the code is stored. I don't bother right, who are the developers working on it. Right? Now the similar fashion as a tester, right? So you have certain testing methodologies, right? As a tester, if again if you are not bothered of the structural part of the application without having a knowledge of the structural part of the application, right? If you are performing the testing only on the functional part of the application, then this kind of testing is called what? Called black box testing. Again, I'll repeat. As a tester, if someone is performing the testing only on the functional part of the application without having the knowledge of the structural part, then that method of testing is known as black box testing, right? Now, generally the black box testing is done by the test engineers, right? So, to perform the black box testing, Do you need programming language knowledge?
No.
Can someone say yes or
No.
no? As a
No.
tester, if you want to perform a black box testing, do you need developers knowledge, programming knowledge? No, right?
No.
No,
No,
sir.
right? So very important. This will be the interview question. People will ask, what is black box testing? Have you ever performed in your career? So you should say, yes, I have done black box testing, which is nothing but testing the functional part of the application. Now, what is the functional part of the application? That is, you should understand what is the functional part. What do you mean the functional? Right? Now, Gmail application, what is the function? It should display the new emails in the inbox section. Whenever a user is trying to send an email, compose button should work. Whenever is user trying to attach an attachment should work. Start just Hi, Rama Devi. Rama Devi, can you hear us?
Yeah. Good morning, Vinod.
Yeah, you've been late.
Yeah, I was in the meeting.
Yeah. You done now?
Yeah, now I'm free.
Okay. All right. It's where were we? What were we discussing?
Black box testing.
Yeah, black box testing, but okay. Right. Right. So in the real time, right? Right. So the functions. So you have to understand what is the function of a pen, right? So what is the function of a pen? It should write when ink is available. The cap should close properly. The nib should work properly. These are the simple functions of a pen. The vice versa for every object, every like laptop. What is the function of laptop? It should work. It should allow the user to log in. It should allow the user to open the Microsoft. It should allow so everything. Every machine has functions according to the manufacturing, right? The same way, the Gmail application functional part of the Gmail is where user can typically see with the eyes and perform the actions, correct? And the structural part, nobody can see the structural part which is behind the application, correct? As a tester, you should not bother of the structural part of the application. You should only bother the functional part of the application. When someone is performing a testing on the functional part of the application, the testing is called black box testing. Person who's performing the testing is called as a black box tester. Any confusion in this black box testing, please?
No, no, Vinod.
No,
Clear.
Vinod.
Clear, right? No confusion in
Yes,
this.
Yeah.
clear.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Now, no. Now the next one is simple, vice versa. Now, if someone is testing the structural part of the application, he has a knowledge of the structural part of the application. He is testing the structure of the application. It means he's testing the code, right? He's testing the code. He's testing how the code is built, what kind of comment section he has used, what kind of loops he has used, what kind of the collections or what kind of the different string mechanism has been applied. So what kind of classes he has used? Did he apply any kind of interfaces? Right. So those being tested. Right now, to test that particular programming, a person who's doing it should have the knowledge. Correct. The person who's doing it is now joining. Yeah. Okay. Right. The person who is doing the testing should have the structural knowledge. Correct? Structural knowledge. Otherwise, without having the structural knowledge, without having the programming knowledge, the person will not be able to test the structural part. So those testing, right? That kind of mechanism is called as it is the white box testing. And who performs, right? Who is going to perform this one, right? The, the black box testers will not be doing this. The only white box testers, right?
It means
White,
developers.
yeah, white box testers are the developers who are doing it, will be testing the code, right? In real time, guys, see, these are all doesn't matter at all. Real time, people will not see you are doing white box, you are doing black box, X, Y, Z. But for the interview purpose, these are all required, right? But when you go to real time, only the important testings that we're going to discuss in some time, those will be done on a regular basis. These are all just for the knowledge purpose, just for the interview purpose, just for the, as a tester, you should know all these things, right? Now, now we understand what is the black box testing. Black box testing is something which is done on the functional part of the application without having the knowledge of structural part. But what is white box testing? White box testing is something where a tester performs testing on the structural part who have knowledge, a understanding on the programming side where how the development happens. Then only someone can perform the testing on the structural part. In this case, person who does the testing is called white box tester. The methodology, what is being applied is the white box testing methodology. Any confusion in this too?
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
No, we know that's
Okay.
okay.
No.
Right. So another testing, something which is called as gray box testing. Again, this is only for the knowledge purpose, right? A person who is doing the testing on the functional as well as the structural part is considered to be a gray box tester, right? That tester will be having both the knowledges, right? Test structural part as well as the functional part. Okay, all good. Any doubts, guys, before we proceed with the next bit?
No, Vinod.
No doubt, Vinod.
No, sir.
Sneveni. My name is
No,
Vinod. I'm not sir.
No, no, we know.
This
Okay.
time, if
No,
you say
no.
sir, then we'll give punishment for sure. What punishment should we give to Krishnaveni? Guys, please suggest one
No,
punishment.
Vinod.
No, no.
No punishment? You don't want?
No.
Okay. So we'll see from now onwards. Okay, Hanita, any doubts? I think you again joined back. Any network
No,
issue?
some network issue. Sorry for that.
Okay. Have you missed anything?
No, nothing.
Okay. Ramadevi?
No, Vinod, I missed the previous class now, so I'm not getting. Can you please explain?
Then it will be a time consuming. You can see the recordings. You can
Sure,
request
I'll do
Raju
that.
for the recording. And if you have any doubts, you can ping me. And
Okay.
we can connect, not a problem. Okay. All right. Naveen, anything that you want to add up to the session?
Vinod, who will test gray box testing?
Even see, example, if you have knowledge on the functional part, how the Gmail is working, example, right? You will test the functional part. And you also know what kind of programming was used in the backend. You also understand the developer standards. You also understand how the development is made. Then you'll be testing that developing whatever the code has been developed, right? You'll be testing that code. So if you're testing both the things, then you call it as a gray box tester.
Okay, Vinod. Understood.
Naveen? Anything that you want to add? Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So, okay, let's for 5 minutes, we'll have some kind of a questions and we'll see who will be answering this. I want everyone to unmute their unmute yourself and try to be very prompt in answering whatever I am asking. Okay. So we'll ask all basic things, whatever we have done so far, right? So what is your, I want everyone to unmute. I'm still waiting. Ramadevi and Hanita. Okay. Now, what is the full form of T? What is the full form of TC?
Test cases.
Very good. SDLC.
Software development.
Software
life
development
cycle.
life cycle.
Okay. Very good. What is the full form of FRS?
Functional
Functional requirement
requirement
specifications.
Okay. Very good. What is the full form of TDD? Tirupati Tirumala
Test driven
Devasthanam.
test
What is the
driven
full form of TDD?
Technical
Test
design
driven
document.
technical design document.
Design document.
Yeah. Correct one is technical
Technical
design
Design
document.
document.
Technical design document. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, how many environments does normally
TDD
a
means
project have?
technical.
Once again.
Five
Development
environments.
environment.
Development,
QA
QA
environment.
environment, staging environment, pre-production
Staging
environment,
environment,
production
Production
environment.
environment.
Production environment.
So nicely someone have written on the paper, just reading it. Okay, good, good, good. Right. See, you should learn, you should learn the things like this and you should be very, very smart. And people in the real time say, they will not say development environment, they say dev environment, right? The shortcut, dev. So that is how it shows that you are a real time experience. You have to use those real time terms while talking, right? Dev environment, QA environment. Right? Okay, good. Good. Okay. What is the output of the testing environment, guys?
Quality product.
Defect-free
Superb.
application.
Defect free.
Yeah, correct, correct.
Effective
Excellent. That's
application.
right. That's a good answer. Yeah, right. Okay. And okay. Now I'll see who is going to answer. Right. When I'll say that there is a defect in the project. Come on, come on.
If something is
When I
not
say-
working as
testing the
expected,
application.
Who wants to say first? Raise a hand.
Defect
Who wants to
is
say
a
first?
mismatch between actual result and the expected result. Uh,
Okay.
Means in development by by a software developer or end customer in the production environment.
Not about production environment. We never discussed about defects in production environment.
Nana Dore.
So guys, I want when we say that there's a defect in the project.
While testing the
While
application,
testing the
if
application.
something is not working as expected, we call it as defect.
Okay, excellent. Krishnaveli, you want to say something? Go ahead. Right or wrong, don't worry. I'm not going to give any marks, or I'm not giving any marks here. Right or wrong, speak out. When you say there's a defect in the application.
The testers testing the application.
Mhm.
um,
Very good. Go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
test is fail. That is called a defect.
Sorry, what is the last line? I missed out the last line.
Sir,
No, the testers will test the application. Okay. So that I missed.
then the test fail. Some that is called a defect.
Others, now, okay, now we can see.
Yeah, Vinod. Testers who testing the application at that time, we will come the defect and we will send that to development team. We got the defect at this time.
No, that's fine. But what is the defect? When you say it is a defect,
Test cases failed.
Why test?
That time.
Test cases fail.
Why
When
is
it
your
is
testing
failing,
that?
what do you
something
mean?
test.
What do you mean by test cases failing? When we say the test case is failed,
When it is not matching the expected output.
Expected output and actual output compared.
okay. So when we say, like, I mean, see, everyone is partially, few members are correct, one or two is partially correct. So, see, when we write the test cases, then we'll say, right, if your actual and expected output both are not same, then obviously it is a defect, correct? But
Defect.
ideally, right, ideally, what is the defect, right? When it is not matching with the requirements, when the application is not matching with the requirement,
Requirements.
it is a, you have to say that is the word requirement, very, very important, requirements,
Okay.
right? Example, right? If the customer has given you the 10 requirements and, you know, you're testing some kind of a soap, just an example. Customer want that soap color to be white. Out of 10 requirements, one of the requirement is the soap color should be white. But developer thought white color is not that much good. He has put pink to the soap. And as a tester, you're testing it. You also thought, okay, the pink color is very nice, and it should look good. Then you have released that product to the customer. So do you think you have done the correct job?
No,
No.
because color is not matching.
Correct.
Requirements.
That doesn't matter if it is black, red, white. It only matters whether it is matching with the customer's requirement.
Customer's requirement.
As simple as that. The customer is asking black, you should give black only. But as a tester or a BA can suggest the customer, sir, black may not be the good option. Why can't we go with pink or white? If customer agrees, then we should go with that. Otherwise, we have to give him the whatever has been asked, the requirements, the same should be given to the customer. If the developer is putting in place of white, pink color, while testing the application, it is not matching with the requirements. The word what we use in the real time is, it is deviating from the requirements. You have to use this word. Any deviation from the requirements, then it is a defect. Krishnavini, you are clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Any deviation with the requirements is a defect. Right? Hope everyone is clear. Okay.
Yes, we know.
Yes, we know.
Yes.
Okay. Now what is the black box testing? Who wants to say? No problem. Try it out. What is the black box testing?
Testing the
Functionality
functional
of
part
the
of the application.
application.
Functional application.
Okay, one by one. Subramanian.
Testing the
Subramanian,
application.
Sai. Can I call you Sai? Is it fine?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
No problem. Okay, Sai, go ahead.
Testing the functional part of the application, then it is called black box testing.
Okay.
Tester will play the main role in this part.
Okay, excellent. Others, who wants to go next? Nagatulsi,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Structural part, while testing the structural part of the application is white box testing. Here developers will play the action.
Okay, what is black box?
Functional part of the application. Here testers will test the black box testing.
Can you give me an example, Nagatulsi? What is the functional part? Example. Anything, any example.
Yeah. Yeah, like Gmail inbox and like that. That part is that is working fine or not.
No, can you give me other example? Forget about Gmail. Give me any other example.
WhatsApp, we need to send the message if the chat is working or not. Status like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay. So here, what is the okay? Uh, okay. Ramadevi has joined the okay. Hanita. Now she has given example of WhatsApp. Now you tell me
WhatsApp.
what is black box in this? What is white box testing in WhatsApp application?
Coming to black box, it's nothing but we will be checking whether the message is sent or not.
Okay. Very good. Yes.
And even the attachments we'll be checking out whether the attachment has been successfully sent or not.
Okay.
And coming
Okay.
to
Excellent.
yeah, coming to white box testing.
Yeah. Correct. You're very good. So right. Nothing wrong with.
Okay.
So what is the structure? What is structural part? How the WhatsApp is developed, right? What kind of language developer might have used? They might have used .NET, might have used Java, or messaging queue, ActiveMQ, right? Java messaging
Yeah.
service, right? What kind of AMQ, what kind of messaging service they might have used? You are not bothered as a tester.
Yep.
You are only bothered whether the
Sent
WhatsApp
or not.
application is working fine.
Okay.
Can a user is able to send a message? First function. Can a user is sending a poll? Second function. A user is attaching some kind of a documents. Third function. An user is attaching some kind of a videos. Fourth function. What is the length of the video? Fifth function. Right? Can someone is recording an audio and sending through WhatsApp? Sixth or seventh function. Right? So the you can go on mute, no problem with it. So testing the functional part of the application is the black box testing. Okay, Rajlakshmi, can you give me an example of white box testing, please?
White box
Any other example?
testing, in WhatsApp, we're sending the message.
No,
It
I
is a
don't. We
coding
don't
part.
take a
But
new example. Take a new example.
new
Take a new
example.
example. Unless please be ready. I might ask anyone with a new example.
New example means,
You can take anything. You have many applications involved, right?
yeah, any Amazon app.
Okay.
Uh,
Amazon. Okay. Good.
yes. In cart, we are adding products. That is the
Okay.
functional part. But how to add, we are you doing the back end coding. That is white box testing.
Can you tell me more functions of an Amazon application?
Amazon functional part, adding the
Function.
items in cart and
Okay. Very good.
payment.
Okay. Very good.
Payment,
Next.
we are using any card, Visa card, any card. It is
Excellent. Payment is okay. What's the next third one?
select the item categories.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Right.
Categories,
So,
we are
see why I'm stressing more on the functional part, guys. I'm telling you. Please understand here the context. The context is here. Now, example, you're working on a e-commerce project. Example, like Amazon, somebody wants example, somebody wants some XYZ online application, right? Now the application is not yet developed, right? Now the requirements phase is still in progress. Now we have discussed you have to write the test cases, right? Now the application is not yet developed. The application is still in the requirement phase, still in the analysis phase, still in the coding phase. So how will you write the test cases? This basic knowledge will give you, right? Like every other e-commerce platform in this world will have major functionalities like adding the product, deleting the product, selecting the categories, listing the product pages, right?
delivery status.
The deliveries, accepting payments. These are all the
Tracking.
major functions of right the tracking, major functions of an e-commerce platform, right? So as a tester, you should have good domain knowledge. That is what I said in the demo and my further classes. Having the domain knowledge is very important. right? Example, if my project is in e-commerce and you have very good knowledge in e-commerce, you will be hired from others. I'll pick up as a PM. I'll pick you up from the interview because our project is e-commerce and you got very good knowledge in e-commerce. Example, you have done in education domain. You got very good knowledge in education domain, right? Then I'll pick you in from the interview. As a tester, you should be very much thorough with at least three domains. The important one would be the e-commerce, banking, education, and financial. People say BFSI, banking, financial domains. Okay, right, all right, good. Okay, so far good. We are making a good progress. We'll go a little bit further in. Okay, right. So now that we understood, right, now that we understood software development life cycle, now we have understood how the testing is done. Now we understood the methodology. Okay, that is very important. Now we understand the methodology, right? Now someone is Krishna, you can go on mute if you have any questions. You can. Otherwise, you can go on mute.
No. What is the advantages of black box testing? Disadvantages?
Okay, advantage. This is the type of testing that you do. So you see, it is not like by doing black box testing. What is an advantage? You will make sure that the functional part is working very fine. You can save time. Example, if you are a black box tester, right? You have knowledge on only the black box, like the functional part. You only do the functional part, right? And if you don't know the structural part, and if someone is telling you to do the structural testing, programming or the development code testing, you're not aware of it, right? So you say yes, and if you try without knowledge, it's a time wasting. Right? In the real time, in the real time, the project timelines are very important. That's where you have different testing techniques coming up in the next session, right? That will save a lot of time. That will save a lot of time and effort in the project. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Now, so let's proceed with some kind of a levels of testing. Okay. Now, let me open our diagram. Okay. I think this will be helpful. Okay. Right, can everybody see my screen? Now, paint window is open, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Now this is, imagine this is a developer system. Mhm. Can we change the okay. Right. Okay. Now imagine this is the developer system. Okay. Now inside the system, now we have right. Now we have a lot of coding, right? Now imagine there is a lot of codes, lot of lines, right? Now imagine there is a 1,000 lines of codes. It's coming such a big. Reduce this one. This is message. Now, okay. Now imagine this is a 1,000 lines of code. Okay, that makes one huge application. Okay, a large application called like Amazon. Imagine it is a Amazon application, right? Now, now these whole lines together, right? Developer has written thousands of lines, and once this thousands of lines are running perfectly, then only the application Amazon app will be working fine, right? So far, no confusion, right? Now, now once the once the development is happening or development is complete, the developers should also perform a testing, correct? So that so that Amazon app is perfectly working fine. Now, what happens is now I'm just telling is the sample of 1,000 lines. There might be more than 1,000 lines in the real time, right? Now, how the developers will do testing, or what happens from the developer standpoint, who will be testing and how they will be testing. Now, instead of 1,000 lines or total number of lines testing at a time, what they do, they'll pick up few lines from the code. Okay? Now, that few lines might be right. That few lines might be correct. That few lines might be example the login page of Amazon. Right. That few lines might be the login page of the Amazon. Put login page. Correct. And so create user, creating user. Okay. Now that few lines, right? Right. The developer will test those few lines and make sure that that few lines, whatever is testing, is working fine. Now, what is that few lines he has selected? He has selected these few lines which only opens login page and it will help the user to create the user. Right now, this is the whole code, right? From the whole thousands of lines, he has picked up a small unit, which is login page and create user. Small unit from the overall code. Correct? Now, as the developer is testing a small unit of code from the whole lines of it, right? Now, this testing the small unit from the total lines of the code is called as what? Is called as unit testing. Okay, which is called as unit testing. Again, this testing is done by the developer. You should not be bothering. You should not be bothering how the testing is happening, what is the output of the unit testing. But as a tester, you should understand what is the unit testing and who does the unit testing. Unit testing is done by the developer, and what is unit testing is something, right? Unit is something in terms of measuring. It is the smallest part of an application. Now, Amazon is the biggest complete application, right? It's a huge application, out of which we are taking only small unit, maybe a login page or a create user or a small unit of code, right? Usually we call that the programs, right? From the overall program, someone is picking up a small part of an application to test whether that particular unit is working properly, right? That is called as unit testing. In this testing, what happens? Each and every line of the program, right, will be tested by the tester, right? And who can test this? Person who is having a knowledge of coding, right? So can I call this as, right, a white box testing? Can I call this as a white box testing, guys?
Yes. Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
Who can
Fine.
do this? Who can do this? White box
Developers.
Developers.
Developer.
Can I call them as a white box testers?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Or a developers?
Developer.
As simple as that. Now, this is very, very important, guys. Unit testing may not be the the testers area, but you should be listening in the meetings. PM questions the developers, right? Once application is released to the testing team, the testing team is encountering multiple defects. Now in the meeting, there is urgent meetings called up in the meetings room, and where a developing team, testing team is sitting together, and PM is standing in front of you and asking, "Hey, testing team is encountering multiple defects in the testing. He's questioning developers. Have you done the unit testing properly?" Now you should understand what is the unit testing, correct? That question may not be to you, but as a tester, you should know what developer might have done to do the unit testing, right? What the developer might have done, he might have checked each and every line. Ideally, they should test, but there is lot of ignorance, lot of ignorance. They say, "Hey, why should I do it? I know it is working fine. Why should I do it?" I'll say, "Yes, I've done the testing." Most of the time, you keep listening. Developers not taking responsibility towards their job, correct? So that is where the testers come into picture, and they keep fighting with the testers that they have done the job correctly. You are not doing the testing correctly. So they always have the testing team and the developing team. It's a cat and rat fighting between each other. They say that I have done the development correctly. You are not doing the testing correctly, because testers will not test what developer has developed. Tester will only test what requirements are given by the customer. Is it really, the application is really matching with the requirements? They'll not test what developer has given to you. They'll test what developer has given, but based on what requirements has given in the FRS document. You will say, "Hey, this application, this defect should be fixed because it is not matching with the customer's requirement." Developers say that, example, just we have taken a soap example, right? Hey, pink color is very good, tester. Deliver the product to the customer. Pink color soap is very good. There is good value in the market. Trust me, you can deliver it. If you agree, you will face a problem with the customer. You should say, "Hey, pink color is very good. I agree. It has got a lot of value in the market. I agree." But that is not the customer's requirement. Customer is asking white color. You should give white color only. So as a tester, you should be very confident in talking to the developer. Guys, I'm telling you, very, very, very important. If you don't talk confidently, if your communication is not good, if you're not presenting correctly, development team will play around with you in the meetings. So develop that habit. Develop that habit talking to different team members. And this is the platform where you need to talk. You're sitting at home, attending the class online. You should utilize this opportunity. You should talk. You should express yourself. You might be thinking, "Let the course complete. Then overnight, I'll become a tester. Let the course complete. Then I'll talk." That's wrong. I can challenge you, irrespective of any course that you attend. If you don't have the presenting skills, if you don't express what is the defect and what is not the defect, when you don't have a good communication skills, when you are not confident in speaking, you will not survive in testing job. I'm telling you, you may not survive. You might be, example, you might be writing 100 of mock tests in testing, and you might have cleared, you answer all questions. But if you lose, if you don't have that presentation skills, you will be behind. You will be behind in any discussions. People will bypass you. They'll crush you like anything. Developers will keep on pushing things on your plate. You should be good enough to say, hey, this is the defect. You fix and throw it to me. So without fixing, don't send an email to me. You have to be very, very confident. You have to show that attitude, right? That cannot be developed overnight. Right. Okay. Now, this unit testing, again, coming back to the point, this unit testing is very simple to listen. Unit testing is very a small term here. As a tester, you should not be bothering of how to do it, but as a tester, you should understand, you should be able to question the developer, right? Now, how can you question the developer? Hey, you have released the build, and while testing, I'm getting every damn defect, right? Now you have to question the developer. Hey, developer, did you do the unit testing correctly? Correct? Developer says yes. Then the PM will ask, can you publish the results? Can you show me the screenshots of that you have done the unit testing? Now, the good developers will take the screenshots of each 10 to 12 lines of codes and they'll say this I've checked, and these are the result of the unit testing results. Okay, but as a tester, you should only understand that there is a unit testing. There is a testing where the developer also does along with you. While you do testing the application, developer also has a responsibility of doing the unit testing. Okay, hope it is very clear. Just for the benefit of everyone, in this level of testing, each and every program will developed by the developer will be tested, as well as some programs will be combined together and tested by the white box testers, right? And as the white box testers are testing the programs, this level of testing falls under the white box testing. Hope it is very clear. Now, coming back to our diagram right now. Okay, now what happens now here? He has picked up few lines. The next step, what he does is, again, he picks up, right? This is also another unit testing. He picks up few lines here, and the few lines might be some other operations. He'll picks up another few lines like this. He'll complete whole 1,000 lines in bits of pieces called as unit testing. Once it is completed, another best practice for the developer, he has to do further testing. Now, what he do? He will combine this unit and this unit together and see these both units are performing well, right? Now, next, what you do? He'll combine this unit and this unit, like vice versa. All the units will combine two to three units together. That in a program in the IT language, we call that as a module. So 2 to 3 units combined together is combined together and called as a module. So developer will performing the testing on this module. So that is why we call that as a module testing. What is that module testing here now? Module testing is defined as a group of related features to perform a major task. Right? Example, it might be a payment gateway, or it might be right from the login page, or right from the creating of user, login of user, adding items to the cart. So it might be one complete cycle of scenario, right? That can be combined as a module, right? Here in this module, right, the each time whenever the developer says that this module is released to the testing team, correct? Now the whole project is not released at one go. That also you understand, right? So example, there are 10 requirements. Custom development team might be releasing only 2 requirements at a time. In the 2 requirements, they say that this module is ready. Correct? This module is ready. What is that module is ready? There is a user creation page, there's a login page, and there is the add to cart functionality. It's combined together. Development team has released a module to the testing team to perform the testing. Now, this is called here module level testing. Now, here 2 things happens. Developer can also do combining these 2 units together and make sure that these 2 units when combined together is performing very well. Another case, developer when released certain modules to the testing team is also testing a complete module in one go, right? Where the testers are also involved. That's why we call this as a white box as well as the black box. Right? Why it is called as a white box? Developers are combining two units together, combined as a module, and they're testing the module. That's why we call that as a module level or a white box. And also, while development is happening, different modules are released at different stages, right? One module will be released at a time to the testing team to perform the testing. Hence, black box testing or the testers are involved just to test the module of the application, like module of the project, one module of the project, right? Again, second module will be released, third module will be released. Like for that, there will be multiple modules which will be released. Okay, so here both the testers are involved, white box and black box, right? So it falls into the both the areas, not specific to one. Any doubt here? Please let me know.
Vinod, can you repeat it again?
Right. Anyone has any doubts? Please go ahead.
Yeah, here developers and testers will both involve, right?
Yeah, both the people are involved. Because developers do their two units together, 2 to 3 units together to make a module. They'll be testing from their end. So that's why it is called as a module level testing. And also, the testing team will also be involved. Developers will be saying that one module is ready for the testing. Can you please test? So they will not be worried about the structural part. How the module is working. So the tester will try to log into the page. He'll create a user. He'll add a cart product to the cart. He'll make the payment if it is right. So one module of cycle is tested here by the testing team. So that's why it's also called as a black box testing.
Okay, thank you.
A particular unit test a particular unit is a unit testing. Multiple unit testing is module level testing.
Yeah, correct. With respect to the developers, adding multiple units together, which makes one module, right?
Okay.
And with respect to the testing team, that module testing the functional part of the module, not the structural part, is the black box testing.
Okay.
Any others, please? Okay, let's get into the now. Let me Okay, so what you see on the screen, these are the different pages, right? You understand? Whenever you open any Amazon page, that's the one. If you want to log in, you'll see a login page, correct? Now, if you go, let now assume that currently there is a application uh, which is now developed. It is nothing but a e-commerce application called as XYZ is XYZ app, which is the e-commerce platform. Okay, the size. like Amazon, there is a XYZ app which is being developed right now. Developers are working. Now, one developer has developed a login page. The other developer has developed a product page. The other one has developed the cart page. The other one has developed working on the payment page. So these are the four different individuals pages, and there is no connection between them because they all are different pages. But ideally, right? What in ideally now, if a user is ideally if user is trying to access these pages, correct? All these pages, correct? All these pages should be connected. You agree? All these pages should be connected, right? Yes or no?
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes.
Getting
Yes.
confused? Let me know. I'll put it in a different way. Getting confused?
No.
No, Vinod.
No.
Very sounded very hard. Already lunch is completed now. Okay. All right. Now for a user, right? For user, whenever he clicks on a login page, right? It should display login page and he enters username and password. Then he try to open the product page. Now the product page is this product page should open, correct? Yes or no? Product page should open,
Yes.
correct? Now vice versa.
Yes.
If he wants to move from product page to the payment page, then he should be able to move it. From the payment page, again he say that change his mind and you want to add few more products again, then in that case, you should be able to go to the product listing pages. Now, how that happens? Now, coming back to the situation where the current project is developed, right? Right now, there is no connection between all these four pages. These are all individual pages which are being developed, correct? Now, as a tester, right? The stage one, as a tester, which is a stage one, login page is released to you saying, hey, testing team, please test the login page. It is now ready. Now, as a tester, you open that login page and you see that login page is displaying correctly. It has all the details available as per the requirement. Then you'll say, hey, development team, testing is passed. Sign off on the login page. Good to go. Now, the next step, they'll release product page. Now he'll only click that link, the product page will open, and he'll say, okay, now product page will be displayed, everything is working fine. Vice versa, all the four pages are sent to the testing team individually. Now this time, please imagine there is no connection between all the four. Those are all individual pages. And all individual pages are working fine, right? Now, without connecting all the four pages, right? Is it really useful or it's not useful?
Not usable.
If we don't
Not
connect all the
useful.
four pages, not useful, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Says that connecting all four pages is not at all useful. And anyone has this doubt? Anyone has this doubt that connecting all four pages is not useful? Hey, please speak up.
No.
Connecting all four pages is useful or it's not useful?
Not useful. Without connecting, not useful.
Without connecting, not useful. How many of you agree? How many of you agree? Quickly, please don't waste time. I want
I
answers,
agree.
everyone,
I agree. I agree.
right? So who left in the middle of the session? I don't know. Okay. So ideally, all the 4 pages should be connected. Then only the application can be used. Otherwise, there is no use. Now, what they do, the developers connect these pages, right? In the backend, what they do, they will, can we use that? Let's use this one. Right? What they do, they will develop an, right, let me put this one. Right. They will develop the interfaces. What they do, they develop the interfaces.
Places.
Okay, now what is this interface? It is a developer's language. It is a kind of a program which is linking the 2 modules. Okay, it is linking the 2 modules. It is linking login page to product page to cart to payment page. It means from login page to, once you log in, you can go to directly to the payment page. From the payment page, you can go to the home screen. From the payment page, you can go to the product page. From the product page, you can go to the cart. It means now all the 4 pages are linked. What I say?
Link.
Vinod, your voice is break.
Hey, sorry, my internet got disconnected, guys. Uh, you know, every time it happens only in the session. Whole day, nothing will happen. Don't know. We need to do some kind of a puja. Sometimes it happens with internet. You guys can listen now.
Yeah, Vinod. we can.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah, now it's clear.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay, so where were we? Uh,
Interfaces.
where is that
Interfaces.
wonderful diagram I made? Okay, you like the diagram? Don't like the diagram? Yes or no? Somebody can answer at least.
Yes, Vinod, I like the diagram.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we know.
Yes.
Do you think I'm a good artist than a software professional?
No.
Somebody's nicely laughing behind. Hey, Vinod is very good in drawing, so he might be a good artist, right? You agree? Yes or no?
It is very clear to understand, Vinod.
Very clear to understand. That's a diplomatic answer. Either either good nor bad.
Huh.
Others, others, come on, yeah, you got to speak out. See, working in a team, you should talk. Otherwise, it is a problem. If you don't talk now, you'll not talk in team meetings. I'm telling you, I can guarantee you will face problem. You'll only say yes or no. Yes, sir. No, sir. Testing is completed? Yes, sir. How much completed? No, sir. You will only say yes or no. If you don't speak out, so I'm trying to interact with you guys. Yes, sir. It may be sensible or not sensible. You have to come out of your comfort zone. Keep talking. Keep talking. Whole day, I'm sure you will be only talking in your mother tongue. But this is where you can only speak in Telugu, speak in only in English. Try it out. Unless you are a good speaker. If not, this is the place you have to trial yourself. Okay. All right. Let's come back to our wonderful diagram. This diagram is also very good, right? I don't know, you people laugh, you don't laugh, you speak, you don't speak. And somebody told you not to smile, not to laugh, not to speak in the meeting. Did Raju told you to do this? Not to
No,
speak in the
no,
meeting?
no, I told that.
No.
No.
We were on mute actually. That's it.
Oh, you're laughing on mute. Very good. I was thinking the same thing.
I have got two kids over here. If I laugh, if I start laugh, they will laugh, and again it will be a big hectic for you also. It's holiday
Right.
today, so that's the
Laughing
reason.
is also a problem. Laughing is also a problem
They'll
within
not
us.
stop.
Very,
They'll
very
not
good.
stop. Initially it is, and
Okay.
later on it will be converted into quarrel. Again, I need to take care of them. These are all interconnected actually.
Okay. Good, good. All right. We'll come back to our session. Okay. Now, so we were with the discussion. Now, there are 4 different pages where developer has developed, and that 4 pages should be connected. The first step, you have tested all 4 pages individually. They are working fine. Now, this time, those 4 pages should be interconnected. The 4 pages should be linked together, right? So, linked together is something in real time where we get together, but in the programmatical way, how can we do that? The developers will develop a, a interface. Developer will develop a interface, which is nothing but a program which is used to link those 2 pages, 2 modules or multiple modules. Right? Once the interface is developed, right? How to make sure that the interface is working? The developers will uh, the developers will the developers will just check the interface whether it's working fine or not, right? So example, there are 4 developers in your project working for this, right? So developer A has developed one interface, developer B has developed another interface, developer C has developed another interface. So guys, it's not a small interface. They will take lot of lines of code to link 2 different modules. Okay, in just 1 minute. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Right? Now, that interface, right? So the different developers again, they will test the interfaces developed by others. So developers share those interfaces together and check whether the interface is correctly working. Because here now So because here the interfaces are tested by the developers, right? The interfaces are tested by the developers because developers are the one who's developing the interfaces, correct? So this is called, right? This is called an integration level testing. What this is called as integration level testing, which again, which is the document, right? Integration level testing. Now, who is doing actually the integration level testing? Developer is doing because developer has to test the interface is correctly working or not. Correct? Developers will be testing the interfaces working fine or not. So, can I call this as a white box testing? Can I call
Yes.
this as a white box
Yes.
testing?
Yes.
Others, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Interfaces means coding, so it is a white box testing.
Okay, sorry guys, I was just middle of something. Okay, now please understand, right? Now the integration level testing is something whenever any interface is developed by the developers, and the developers will test the interface and make sure that the interface is correctly working. Okay. Now, because the developers are involved in this, we call this as a white box testing. Correct? Any doubts in this, please? In this unit, module, and integration? Any doubts in this, please?
No, Vinod.
No,
Guys, you're with me?
no, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod, we are.
No? You're clear with it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Right. Very good. Now, so let's conclude the session now because we have another two. It will take a lot of time. We'll complete the session tomorrow. Okay. So guys, go through the recording. This is very, very important. And if you guys have any doubts in this, please let me stop the recording.